Diamonds, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is just a channel mostly for fun, but it's really just a way for me to put my books out there a little bit more. I have 2 published books and I'm aspiring. Anywho, this is your May 20 and 25 recommendations. So it's been a fun month, somewhat. It's getting hot. I don't like the summer. Never have. So for the yes section, Deep Sea. This is a really weird thing to say about an animated title, but although this movie is very beautiful, it was overly animated to the point where it hurt my eyes really bad to look at and it gave me a headache. But I get motion sickness really bad even when I'm like playing games, so I'm not quite sure what that means. But 1,000 Pound Sister is season 7. Back at it with another season. I'm here for Tammy, starting to get everything in her life back on track. And then we have Amy. So this girl just got bit by a camel, has a court date for weed, and also is trying to move in with a man she knew for about a month. Stupid. Match point. So the movie, how do I explain this? This is not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. Probably not. Our main character is the worst thing in the world, which I hate when movies do that. Like, it happens, I know, like, sometimes there are unlikable people, so it would make sense that there are unlikable characters. I get that, but at the same time, I don't really understand why they made this man this unlikable, and then he ends up getting away with everything, and he sucked, and take him to jail. Like, come on. Blink twice. So this was a pretty twisted movie, and it shows very serious topics, so I would recommend watching it. I liked it a lot, but I don't want to spoil anything. Myths and Monsters. This series shows how humans have always told stories, and as a big fan of storytelling myself and fantasy, all of this spoke to me. The Painted. So this is a very original idea, at least to me. Like, I've never heard of it. I will say that. So there is a spell to make people that die into a living painting. Why you would want that, I do not know, but some people did apparently. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, this show is so wholesome. I love it. Like, this man's just a really good swordsman, but he does not think so for some reason, so he's just kind of there, like, being humble. It's really sweet. Devil May Cry. Love the games. Not a huge fan of the first anime. Yes, I watched it. Pretty old. And yeah, this thing isn't perfect by any means. The music choice is definitely a choice. But for the most part, I think there's a lot to grow with here, and I think that it's definitely could have gone worse. One of Them Days. This movie's cute and crazy. It's a buddy movie about needing money, and it has my girl Keke Palmer in it. It's actually really funny. The Mendez Brothers, another documentary about the Mendez Brothers. More about the case than everything, and more about the court case part, which you don't really get to see a lot in the documentaries, so I don't know. I don't think they deserve to get out of jail. I think it was said that they didn't get the bail they were supposed to, but I don't know. High Hostage. So this man straight up hijacks the worst possible Apple store in the world with the absolute most windows. Clay Madison, Sex, Lies, Scandal. So I thought this was a murder documentary, but actually no, it's apparently about a website where you can go and talk to other married people so that you can have an affair. I find the whole thing really scummy. The Rose of Versailles. So first of all, this anime is absolutely beautiful, and the music is amazing, and it's just really pretty. And anything I thought I assumed about the ending of this movie, yeah, no, I was really wrong. This movie had me crying on the floor. The Hating Game. So the theme here is that they both hate each other, quote unquote, but actually are in love with each other. This movie plays with the saying, thin line between love and hate. Lynette. I actually watched this movie in 6th grade in computer class. My teacher would let us watch any movie as long as it mentioned the internet. Barbecue Brawl. Me and my boyfriend love cooking competitions, so we found this one is about barbecue. Masters of the Universe Revolution. I really love what Netflix did with the He-Man property, really expanding on an old cartoon, because back then, really old cartoons, there was never much plot. It was a villain of the week kind of show, so nothing, no really character growth either in the shows most of the time. So I like that they took this property and then they gave it new animation, but they also gave it more feeling and more plot, and I really do hope for more. Prometheus. So with Romulus coming out, I really wanted to watch the series because I've never have at this point. I only saw the second Alien movie before, so I started this as a prequel of the original series, and it's done really well, and I feel like the movie shows enough that we don't need the second movie, because the explanation of the original aliens having the eggs at the end and they mixed it with the Prometheus creatures makes sense to me. I feel like that we don't need the second prequel movie, but whatever. Alien Convergent? I don't know. The second movie in the series, to squeeze all the life out of the Alien series, picks off after the other movie, you know, like decades and decades later, like they always do. And the other movie ended, and yes, you see more about the creation of the Xenomorph. Companion. So our main girl is a sex robot, and they plan for her to murder someone, and once she does, she figures out she's a robot, and then hilarity ensues. Alien. We have now entered the original Alien timeline. This is an important sci-fi horror movie for history and filmmaking and storytelling in general, so I respect it. The effects really still stand up. Death on the Beach. This documentary is about people getting killed on vacation, and it's honestly really sad. You go somewhere to relax and end up being dead. The Pit. The show better get a season 2. The show did something I don't see in a lot of doctor shows. It showed the real chaos and truth and like unfun work environment, being understaffed and in the shits. The show's like a very real how it would feel working in the hospital. The show shows the grit, and the idea that the whole show takes place on one shift is amazing. A very interesting way to structure a show. Alien Romulus. So this movie right here is why I started watching the series, because I wanted to watch this one, but I didn't want to be an idiot and not know what's going on. Though I liked it, a bunch of stuff felt like extra add-on bull. Most of the characters were not likable, but I think the movie was okay. Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie. I remember hearing about this case, but I have no idea about this lady or this YouTube channel. However, family vlogs are not really my thing, but everything in this case is so sad. It's sad when religion gets twisted like this in people's minds where they think anything is okay. Out There, Crimes of the Paranormal. A very eerie documentary about crimes with supernatural elements. Most of the cases are pretty creepy. Aliens. This movie's great. My favorite of all the movies, and I think this is the one with the best effects and a really good direct sequel. Yoga Teacher Killer, the Caitlin Armstrong story. I watched this because I saw it had Sarah from Arrow in it, and I wanted to watch it based on that. So this is based on a true story, and yeah, Caitlin is obviously the killer and is in the wrong, but her boyfriend literally brought all of this because you could tell that this girl was unstable. Mother's Instinct. A woman's son dies in an accident and she has a crash out to get her neighbor's son. Meh. Little Sister. A nun goes back home, becomes goth again. You, Season 5. Another show I originally loved, but it was dragged on way too long when it was originally based on one novel, which I hate when people do that. Shows do that. It's so stupid. It is originally based on a novel, so it should have stayed as one season, or maybe two, stretch it out a little, but that's about it. Anyway, I've been praying about Joe getting caught since Season 3, and yes, he got caught, it was great. Alien 3. This is about the time when I think Ripley's story should have ended. Her whole character should have stopped her here. She did her time. Alien Resurrection. This is my least favorite, and I feel like Ripley didn't even need to be a part of this movie, and her character seemed to change like so much, like her personality was different. And yeah, you could argue that it's because she is technically a clone, but it's said that she still retains original memories of Ripley, so I don't know. Twilight of the Gods. So the story was alright. The ending, the last 3 episodes were incredible. That was when it really took off. And the animation was great, but let me tell you, I did not expect all of the square abstract penises in like every episode. I didn't expect that. Mother's Day. It's basically Taken, but with a mom on Mother's Day. Biosphere. So I went into this movie blind. And wow, you have no idea where this movie is headed. I promise you that. So the world ended, and the ex-president and his friend are in the dome, and because one of their fish died, the male fish, for survival, turned into a girl fish. For survival in evolution, which has been known to happen, well, it happens to one of the men for some reason, and they end up making a baby, and then he gets pregnant. But if you have any questions, they're not answered, and it's kind of weird. The beach house. This is about a couple that goes to a beach house before a virus hits the beach, turning people into zombies. And there is like a fog and a Lovecraftian creature in the sand. I don't know. No. Drop dead gorgeous. So this movie is definitely a product of its time. It came out for sure around a different time. You could tell in the first 10 minutes that this is a different type of movie. Now this thing is like flooded with really familiar faces and really amazing actresses. But that's about it. But mainly I just don't like the way the film is structured. The Jester. I heard this is technically in the Terrifier universe. I don't know if that is true or not, but it doesn't really matter in this case. Goblin. So I found this movie because of Curtis Connor, and trust me, him reviewing it made it really way more interesting because the movie is written in a very, very fast-paced way, and the dad and his son are so horrible because they suck. It's really hard to watch just because they're in there. And this is an independent film, so I don't feel like I can be really hard on it. But I feel like there's other stuff they could have done.
Oh, God!
Finish him!